What up, everybody? At the end of the final episode of Power Book 2 Ghost, there was a credit scene where Tariq got a mystery phone call, seemingly setting the stage for the next chapter of the Power universe. And a few things to note about this scene is that even though it's almost been a full year now since the finale of Ghost, and Force Season 3 hasn't even premiered yet, when the credit scene aired, Force was already completely done filming Season 3. And also, even though this clip is still posted on social media, it's been completely removed from the credits of the Ghost finale. Something I also wonder what that's about. I think the reason why they might have ended up deleting this scene from the credits is because they might actually show this scene in Force, where we actually hear what Tommy's saying to Tariq on the other line, as most people believe that that was in fact Tommy on the other line who was calling Tariq. The credit scene showed Tariq getting a phone call in front of a hot dog stand that said hot sausage, pretzel, and dog, ice cold sodas, water, and lemonade. The first thing that Tariq said when he answered the phone was that he hadn't heard from this person in a minute, calling them you. At this point, the person on the other line asked Tariq a question, and Tariq replied, "Yeah, I do, but what the is going on though?" At this point, the person on the other line explained to Tariq what was going on when Tariq replied, "Alright, tell them to bring the smoke and we'll come lay them the out. Simple." Then at this point, the person replied again when Tariq said, "I mean, come on, we're family for life. Send me the details and I'll be there. I'm on my way." And like I said at the time, a lot of people believe that that was Tommy Egan on the phone with Tariq, based on the clues like Tariq telling this person that he hadn't heard from them in a minute. And obviously, Tariq and Tommy don't talk on a regular basis, and we didn't see Tommy make an appearance in Season 4 of Ghost. So from the end of Season 3 to whenever the credit scene takes place, which is sometime after the conclusion of Book 2, it could have been just days, or it could have been months, or even with a potential time jump going into Legacy, it could have been a year or two. Then there's also the fact that Tariq told this person to tell them to bring the smoke, which is also a Tommy Egan Easter egg, because that's a line he uses, and said specifically to Tariq at the end of Ghost Season 1 that he wants all the smoke. Then there's also the fact that Tariq told this person that they're family for life, and there's not too many people Tariq considers family who will be calling Tariq for help laying some people out other than Tommy. Concerning some of the arguments that it wasn't Tommy, one is that Tariq didn't call this person Uncle Tommy, and Tariq always calls him Uncle Tommy. That's true, but this could also show that Tariq is growing up now, and also, he obviously didn't say the person's name for the purpose of the story to keep the caller anonymous. Another argument is that Tommy would never turn to Tariq for help. But that just isn't true because Tommy has already asked Tariq for help before at the end of OG Power when he was trying to get to truth in time. Ironically enough to stop Dre from killing Ghost. But at this point Tariq refused to help and also set a trap for Tommy with Vincent and the Italians. But this proves that Tommy isn't above asking Tariq for help to do dirt, especially if he's desperate and out of options. Not to mention, the trailer now shows that Tommy's going to be teaching D-Mac the game in Season 3. So if he's going to let his nephew get in the game to help him out, there's no reason why he wouldn't call Tariq, who's already in the game and has been in the game for a minute now also. Now the third reason why people have said that it's not Tommy is a decent point, and that's the fact that Tommy told Tariq that his war in New York wasn't his war to fight, so why would Tariq help Tommy fight his war? But with that said, keep in mind that Tasha ultimately took a shot at Monet to try to take her out in Season 3, and I believe that Tommy was actually in on Tasha's plan, and that's why he told Tariq not to go to war with the Tejadas. And this gets me to why would Tommy call Tariq for help? The trailer reveals that Tommy will become a lone wolf in Season 3, as it showed Vic Flynn on the phone with Bobby DeFranco asking if anyone was with Tommy, and DeFranco replied, "No, he's a lone wolf now." So this lets us know that Tommy is basically back to square one in Chicago, where he doesn't have any allies on the streets for DeFranco to be calling him a lone wolf, and also that Diamond is either out of the picture and that Jannard has taken control of CBI, or that Diamond betrayed Tommy and sided with Jannard. And for DeFranco to call Tommy a lone wolf also means that none of the other gangs who joined the coalition sided with Tommy either. And the trailer also shows part of a conversation between Tommy and Mireya, with Tommy telling Mireya that he'll burn the coalition to the ground before he lets them take it from him. And Mireya tells Tommy to not burn it to the ground, but to take it back. And this is when Tariq comes into play and the phone call from the credit scene. Because as Tommy begins to rebuild a crew to take back the coalition, we already know he's going to recruit D-Mac and baptize him into the life. From the trailer, it also looks like he could potentially turn to the Marquez cartel as well after being outed by CBI and probably Che. Then at this point, I can see Mireya asking Tommy if there's anybody from New York he can bring in to help. And this is when Tommy makes the call to Tariq to help him take some people out. Likely because Tommy will be underestimated and counted out once he becomes a lone wolf. Now going back to the phone call Tariq received from Tommy. He already knew who was calling him when he answered and said he hadn't heard from this person in a minute. This is when Tommy likely asked Tariq, does he still have shooters with him? Keeping in mind that Tariq took over Noma's organization and is literally the New York Connect now. So he's actually bigger than Tommy in the game at this point. And Tariq replies, yeah, I do, but what the fuck's going on though? Trying to figure out why Tommy's calling him, asking him for shooters. Then this is when Tommy explains to Tariq how he's been betrayed and how someone was trying to take his organization away from him. And that's when Tariq replies, tell them to bring the smoke and we'll come lay them the out. And that's when Tommy will start to feel a little guilty about asking Tariq for help, and he'll say something like, Tariq, you don't have to get involved in this if you don't want to, or something like that. And Tariq will let Tommy know that they're family for life. So that might not be word for word what Tommy says, but I think that'll pretty much be how the conversation goes. But this likely won't take place until the last couple episodes. Unless there's a time jump, don't expect to see Tariq in Chicago anytime in the first part of Season 3, because Force still has to get caught up to the Book 2 timeline, which is somewhere from about 9 months to a year ahead of Force right now. But because Book 2 is so far ahead of Force, we could actually still see Tariq at the beginning of Season 3 when Tommy goes back to New York on the Force timeline when him and Tasha hash things out. But concerning Tariq helping Tommy take back control of the coalition, we also got to keep in mind that it's already been said that this is Tommy's last chapter in Chicago. So Tommy's not going to be in Chicago running the coalition in Power Legacy. So even with Tariq's help, Tommy might not be able to win the war unless Tommy were to leave someone else in charge and become the Connect. But that's doubtful that he would feel comfortable doing that fresh after they already tried taking it from him once. And there you have it. Leave your thoughts, theories, and predictions in the comments.